So my name is Tamara, and I haven't been able to make it to here to every presentation, but the ones I've been hearing today are like so really, really inspiring and very meaningful. Um, so that's me today, but I did not start in data science, and I also did not start in STEM. I'm from Germany, and I grew up in a tiny village called Schöneberg with just 300 people. And my grandparents next door, they had a small farm. I've been living there for generations. My parents did not go to university, and no one actually moved far away from that region. Um, I finished high school with a focus on history, Latin, and music. Here you can see me nervously eating a chocolate before my last exam, and I wasn't bad in math, but it was not very exciting for me. I also had two left hands, so to speak, when it came to computers or anything technical. Um, and I actually just wanted to help people and do something good. And I thought I could do that by learning about the rules and how people live together. So I enrolled into law school at the University of Freiburg and moved to the other end of Germany, so south of Germany. I spent over a year of my law degree in Coimbra, which is on the far west end of Europe in Portugal. And it's one of the oldest universities in Europe. And people say it actually inspired J.K. Rowling as she wrote Harry Potter. Um, I graduated with my law degree in 2018, and I worked in three major international law offices in Frankfurt. It was not a good fit for me. Um, I had moved very far away from the direction I wanted to go, like actually doing something positive for people. And in 2018, Europe had a big discussion around the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. And I did some research and found the prospect of data and AI extremely frightening. But I also thought technology is probably not going to follow the globe. So I better try to understand it. And that longing to understand the world, and I believe is what pushed me further into pursuing a PhD today. Um, so I found QUT extremely welcoming, and I was lucky enough to get funding from a study fund in Germany that works more or less similar to HEX in Australia. I also found a casual job at CSIRO Data 61 as a legal encoder at that time. So actually someone I first met at a conference in Europe, funnily, and then again at an event in Brisbane. So I've been quite lucky a few times. But I've also been a bit unlucky. So there was another event in 2019 that impacted my life significantly, and that was actually a really painful spinal nerve injury. Um, it made me learn more about how to actually deal with like emotions and pain that are too strong to ignore, especially around stress and trauma. It also made me think deeper about the relationship that we have to ourselves, to others, and technology. And as other presenters have mentioned, like university life, work life, family life, that all can be really, really stressful. And the magic that we can do with data science does not necessarily help with that, but stress has a really high influence on how we work and also how we think. So I studied it, somatic stress release and body psychotherapy, and I still do. And I give workshops for students at QUT. Now, I don't recommend to anyone to get injured, but it's been a big part of my journey. In 2021, I graduated from my master in IT in data science at QUT, and I got offered a scholarship by the QUT Centre for Data Science for a PhD. I also had a part-time job at BitQ, a data science company in Brisbane, but I left that after, I think, about a year to focus on my PhD. For my PhD, so I proposed my own topic, seeing that there is a lot of data used in intensive care and a lot of models built, but not actually used. So I went ahead and thought, oh, let's do something more human-centered. Um, so in my PhD, I asked how data can actually be useful to clinicians for their decisions at the bedside when we think about methods such as machine learning and AI. So today, I mentioned I'm in my last year of my PhD. I work as session academic as tutor. I give workshops around stress. The next one will be this Friday. And I also had different jobs in between, questioning myself, what am I actually doing? Not continuing with law, moving into data science without actually having an undergraduate degree in math or computer science, and pretty much doing a mix and match of disciplines plus a bunch of other random skills. Um, so what am I working on at the moment with that background? This is a quote that David Lovell, one of my supervisors, shared. And I like to think that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So if you're listening to this and think, oh yeah, you want to be a magician, a witch or fairy, then how can you, and I asked that question myself, use technology, data science wisely? Because what often seems to be forgotten is the very intricate relationship between individuals, reality, and data. And those relationships bring meaning to each of one of us in our lives and shape future societies at large. And how can we just look at those relations and use relational wisdom and data science wisely? I mentioned that I focus on intensive care at the moment, and this is an article from January this year, where a digital patient record system was suspended because a system that was supposed to make things easier and more transparent has made things more opaque. And that's not an intensive care specific problem, but one that surfaces in many industries, especially when it comes to new systems. Like magicians don't always get it right. And that gets aggravated when we talk about implementing data solutions and especially AI supported tools. I like to think that any technology is a tool that serves a certain goal, but also getting that goal right while thinking about not just first order effects, but maybe second or third and different stakeholders' interests makes it incredibly difficult. So my work focuses on needs. In February this year, I presented my work that I did with my supervisors, David, Aloha, and Dimitri, at the HIKM conference. I had 30 conversations with ICU clinicians. And at the conference, I talked about how human information needs actually inform the development of decision support systems. I concluded that first, a deeper understanding about what people need and value helps to inform how we define a problem in data science. And second, those needs help inform us to anticipate the impact that decision support systems might have on here clinical decisions. And I think it is so important to see that data science is very welcoming to people of different backgrounds outside of STEM disciplines. One of the participants in my interview summarized that you often see that software is designed with people who aren't clinically oriented, and it does potentially just change your problem as opposed to make it easier or match it with our needs. And I often try to imagine that our interaction with data and technology, what would that look like if there would have been more women involved in the early stages of building the infrastructures that we have today? And not just women, but other ethnicities and disciplines. The humans who flourish in relationships. And I hope that data science brings us closer together so that we can more fully understand those relations and respond to reality wisely and well. And I believe that primarily start with education at universities and schools, and also hearing about what everyone else is doing, like today. And yeah, thanks again so much for having me here today. Thanks, Tim, for organizing and Fazana for hosting. And it's been really great listening to so many inspiring women. And please reach out if you want to stay in touch or would like to know more about my research or the stuff that I do around stress. Yeah, thanks.